Hey everyone, this is Olay from Laddering Your Success, and you're listening to the LYS Podcast. Boom, there we go. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages across the world. Happy Sunday. Welcome to another free student mentoring session by LYS. As always, folks, I am Olay Shorunke. I am joined by my esteemed colleague. Wow, that sounded really good.
That sounded professional.
I'm joined this afternoon by my esteemed colleague, Festus and Olay. Festus, how you doing today, man?
Good, man. I hope that I can match that energy, bro. You had a whole Robin Williams "Good Morning in Vietnam" kind of
Oh snap! You remember that?
going on? Yeah. Look at. See, we listen to a diversity of exposure. No, I'm joking.
No, you're absolutely right. I was telling a friend the other day. I'm like, Cleo loves talking about music, but I'm like, I was talking to a friend. She was like, what do you listen to? I was like, I listen to everything literally from here to here.
Yeah,
I will listen to almost anything because the thing, one of my musical mentors, when I used to play trombone in the church, he taught us that music is anything with a definite sound, a definite beat, and a definite rhythm. And once you understand that, once you understand the basis of like drum and bass, like literally the drum, beat, and bass, you understand so many aspects of music. So music, you be like, "Dog, who is that? That's the coldest beat ever." That's French techno, poly, goth, organ, chamber music. Be like, really? That sound like Future.
It's great.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's crazy because a person like me who's like pretty much tone deaf is like, I don't get the full range of satisfaction like you.
The crazy thing is,
what's that?
The guy who's saying he's tone deaf is the guy who put me on like literally 2 out of the 3, maybe 2 out of my 5, 2 out of the 5 artists in my top 5.
Well,
because so Festus was kind of mad at me, and it granted it was my fault because of like I guess I don't think about these things. Like, it's not because I'm a greedy person, but it's just like when I do things, I just do them. I don't think, oh, maybe my friends would like this or whatever. We went to go see Common last night, and I was telling Festus, and Festus just immediately like, oh, what? Wait.
Well, especially Common with an orchestra.
Like I know,
that is right up my alley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got to do better.
But it's okay. I probably wouldn't have been able to go. That's life with kids, man. When you got little ones, man, it's different. It's different.
I know.
It's like, and the thing is, everything costs so much more because as soon as you throw out the thing, then it's like, okay, you got to either factor in a babysitter or, you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, we got good family. The family's really supportive in terms of, they'll watch the kids, but you can't take advantage of people. That's the big
absolutely.
Thing, you know what I'm
absolutely.
Saying?
No, but you just had me thinking like that was that whole moment right after we graduated from high school. Man, I mean, it was like just major artists after major artists, all these guys Festus would put me on, and I'd be like, dude, this is the most amazing thing. I guess it was that era of conscious rap coming in. But granted, hip hop's always been conscious, so it's just like a new era.
Or soulful rap. Soulful rap. Because the thing is, I mean, conscious rap, you could say there was conscious rappers like KRS-One and stuff like that who
absolutely
predated like the Kanyes, the Commons, the Lupes and stuff like that. But there was a certain like a soulful.
I think you hit the neo soul era. I guess
exactly, like his neo soul era, and they tied in, especially because Kanye made pretty much everybody's beat back then. Or what's this dude's name who used to make
talking about the GOAT? You talking about Dilla?
Dilla definitely.
Dilla's my GOAT.
But Just Blaze though.
Just Blaze. Oh yeah.
Just Blaze?
Dude, that was a whole Dipset. That was Dipset right there. That was all Dipset.
I'm telling you. That was all Dipset. But anyway, it's funny because a lot of those guys, they took a lot of the hooks and beats and stuff from old music and then brought it in, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So the Shaka Khans with the Through the Wires and you know what I'm saying? Different kind of stuff like that. That music just hit different than today. Like today, a lot of the music, I mean, especially to me, especially kind of post mumble rap era, because I don't know, we're still kind of quasi mumble rap. It's just like, what is this stuff? You know what I mean? And I feel some kind of way because I feel super old, because now when people talk about stuff, I'll be like, I don't even know nothing about that, like whatsoever. But I think the other cool part, and I'm gonna show it after this, is how new music is so kind of almost like indie. Like almost everybody's like an indie. Like you could just find something that fits you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I kind of like that, where it's like, you know what? There's these dope artists. You know, now please, if you're listening to this, send your artists on Spotify. Hit them with the Cash App. You know what I'm saying? I try to do that every now and again.
That's so true.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like instead of them getting 10 cents or 5 cents off of this album, they get the full $20. You know, if you had 100 people who listen to your music, you know, send you $20 a month, that's $2,000. You know what I'm saying? That's 24,000 a year. I know that it doesn't sound like that much money, but to a artist where it's like, I get to make my own music.
Yeah.
If you did, you know, that's straight, you know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Absolutely, man.
What are we talking about today?
Yeah, we're talking about a neo soul. We're talking about the neo soul era of rap from 97, 98 through 2014. No, I'm kidding. We're talking about health today. Today, we are talking about health. You want to let me share real quick?
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
No worries. So, you know, last week we talked about teachers, because we're coming back. It's the last day of July. So you know what that means. Back to
life, back to reality.
Yeah. And them teachers gonna be like, however you want it, however you need it. I'm gonna give it to you, however you want it, however you need it.
It's gonna be more like the belly intro where they came in, how do you want it? You know, and they got all the guns out. Anyway, I guess that's not a good illustration right now.
To make my rule, we're gonna use our protractors to find angles, measurement of angles today. Acute angle, obtuse angle, right angle.
Wowzers.
Man, no, but we're talking about health. We're talking about health because last week we talked about teachers and so much that they're going through. Teachers going through so much. So many of them leaving the industry. And before we get into that, man, I want to talk about, man, Festus dropped some jewels on me last week, and I want to share them with everyone here. We talked to you know, someone in the know when it comes to helping out companies, like we are an ed tech company. And he said some straight up truths. He said a lot of administrators just don't care. He said
that was actually kind. That was actually a very kind version of what he said.
Well, thank goodness. You know what I'm saying? And when I heard that someone outside of that perspective, but with so much, you know, insight, said that, it validated so much, man. It really got me, because I was thinking about all these teachers who sacrifice, man. Sacrifice. Time is our greatest resource. And you've got teachers with families, teachers with their own underlying health issues and conditions, teachers with so many different circumstances and backgrounds and issues and things that they're dealing with, who find a passion and a purpose in this thing called teaching. And it's just undermined, and it's just, we're numbers. You know, a lot of times we are, to the education system, what they want us to be to the students. They want us to make a student a number. You know, let's make a graph of data, which I get. Data is great, right? The current dispensation of how we look at data and how we're able to use that data to make impact is amazing. But I'm not PS 45786. You know what I'm saying? I'm a person. And sometimes we gotta peel it back a little bit and take a look at what we're really talking about here. These teachers sacrifice so much and they just get left. No one really, you know, teaching these days, I think you said it, we talked about last week, teaching and nursing. And even when we started watching that Teachers Off Duty podcast, shout out to Teachers Off Duty podcast, man. Some really, really great content and stuff they're talking about. Teachers and nurses, most stressful jobs. So much of what we do gets ignored. You'll do something for a student and it'll be like, hey, why is this happening? Are we going to talk about the fact that your child, I fed them? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's that Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like
Wow.
you talking about the stuff at the top. We haven't even gotten the stuff at the first 2 levels.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So here's me getting off my soapbox. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting off my soapbox because
Well, sometimes you got to be on that soapbox because
yes, sir. Absolutely.
One, especially nowadays, people are struggling because they're thinking a thought and they're like, is it really like this? Am I the only person who's thinking this way? And the reality is you're not, and this is kind of what I was saying before. I think we're moving into an era and we're vastly in that era of like find your tribe. You know what I'm saying? Like right now is so many people who they don't know who their tribe is. And because they don't know who their tribe is, they don't know where and how to find support. And so it's like, if you're going to make a difference in this world, if you're going to make a difference in the community, if you're going to make a difference at all, you're going to have to quickly find your tribe. You know what I'm saying? And once you find that tribe, then you're going to have to start leveraging the elders in that tribe. Every tribe has elders. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, Festus. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, man. That's that game. I said, once you find your tribe, you're then going to have to leverage the elders in that tribe. And every group of elders, every tribe has a group of elders that you can leverage. And the thing is, in education right now, because so many people left the field, this is going to cause immense amounts of pain. Like, I really don't think that those who are leaders, who are in charge, who aren't on the ground in the communities, really comprehend the amount of pain that's going to be caused in the future for these kids who aren't in school. I mean, the thing about it is, a lot of people talk about school as a form of socialization, but you also have to think about school in terms of an introduction. And what do I mean by that? A lot of these kids, their teacher is the only professional person with a degree that they've ever met. Right? That they've ever met. So now you remove that from that student, and the students now in the community, how much information that they would be introduced to is now missing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what a lot of people, and this is the thing, again, I'm a big fan of learning, and not so much of institutions as much, but even still, institutions, they have literally created a method of setting how the brain works, how the brain functions, to develop the brain in a systematic way. That's the one thing you cannot knock the institution about, is that the systematic form of learning is very, very helpful to what's the word I'm gonna say? Can I say architect the mind, or to structure?
Develop structure.
To structure the mind, right? I'm not talking about indoctrination in terms of the way people think, right? And telling them what to think. But in terms of structuring your hey, let's spend 30 minutes of reading so that your brain can actually process information for 30 minutes. A lot of people aren't able to do that, but Olay was telling us how to find us, because this is really important. Okay, if you are looking for us and you're saying, man, how do I get a hold of these guys? Olay, take it away. Talk to us.
For sure, folks. If you want to find us on Instagram, LYS STUDENTS, that's LYS students. That's BEKNOWDO_LYS. BNODO_LYS. LYS students, BNODO_LYS. Right. On Facebook, just type in Laddering Your Success. You get access to, whenever we do mentor calls, different posts or things that we put up, any type of info for teachers. You want to get information on the app, Facebook, Laddering Your Success. On YouTube, just same thing. Type in Laddering Your Success. We're going to have some really good content coming up for this upcoming school year, right?
Oh yeah, we got some dope content rolling out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I just thought about all the stuff we have. Yeah, wow. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff.
Short form,
TikTok.
long form.
Yeah. TikTok, LYS, BNODO, TikTok. I ain't forgot about you. We coming for you. TikTok, we coming for you. TikTok, the Grim Reaper's coming. Sorry, I just have to do that. If you want to send us an email, info@ladderingyoursuccess.com. Discord coming soon. Yo, man, we had a really good meeting we had an introductory meeting with some new friends, and man, she was telling us about the impact they were having with Discord, and that kind of got us kind of really excited. It let us know, number one, that we're not off, we're in the right direction, and hopefully soon we'll get some really good stuff coming out there on Discord.
Absolutely.
And of course, Cash App. You was just talking about the artist, Festus.
Yeah,
we artists too.
Help the artists. You know what I'm saying? This is
you know what I mean?
No, but Laddering Your Success. Just hit up Cash App sign Laddering Your Success. The Cash App.
We legit.
Yeah, we legit. We live.
We out there.
If you want to support us, just hit Cash App Laddering Your Success. We need to put that in the corner. You know, that's the thing. I hate when people when I watch a video and I'm like, this guy ain't talking about nothing. And then they got the Cash App in the corner, and then you see where somebody be like, just Cash App. Nah, but that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing.
Be like $50.
You know what I'm saying?
They gave him $50
for talking about nothing. Bro, it's just the thing. Clubhouse, I heard this on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
That somebody was doing a Clubhouse and they made $500 doing a Clubhouse. And I was like, what? And especially where it's not people giving out real gems, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they'd be like, oh, but that's a whole nother thing. I'm not hating on the way people get their money. That's, different
pulls
stuff.
Up our Clubhouse, do talking about knick-knack, paddywhack, give
a dog a bone. One fish.
Man, $5,000.
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Okay, no, we need to get to our topic today. We're talking about health. So Olay is going to give us a quick intro to the health. You're going to finish that out?
For sure. Yeah. Absolutely. We're talking about health, folks. First question I got. I want everyone to think about this. How does what we put in affect what comes out? How does what we put in affect what comes out? I know some of y'all are thinking, well, I mean, if you eat good food, I mean, you're going to have more energy. You're going to be able to do more things. You're going to think clearer. You're going to be able to, do more exercising. You're going to be able to push yourself further. You're going to be able to think clearer. You do that over a long period of time. You'll have consistent, sustainable health. You won't, whenever you go to the doctor, you won't have too many issues. You won't be going to the doctor that often, lower chances of things that come from diabetes, high blood pressure, chances of heart disease and stroke go down, kidney issues go down, all that great stuff, right? Which is true. But how many of us just thought about what we put in our mouths? How many of us thought about what we watch? How many of us thought about what we read? How many of us thought about who we hang around with, who we see? How many of us thought about those people that we see, what they say and how we hear it? How many of us thought about the music that we hear? You got those friends, right? If there's doing certain things and it has a certain scent, how many of us thought about the way we perceive, the way we smell those things? See, when we think of health as just, I'm going to exercise and eat right. I'm going to eat 3 square meals a day. I'm going to eat more fruits and veggies. Lean protein. Got to do it. But the gamut of health is so much more further. It's so much more wide than just what you put in. There's so many things that you read, that you watch, especially that you watch. Think about the way our society works today. This is literally the way our society works. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Here we go. This is how our society works.
Oh, for those who cannot watch, he's doing the scrolling. He's scroll fingers.
Oh, yes. For those of you who can't, I'm literally just moving my middle finger, like in my hand, just moving it up.
Just the scroll finger to the swipe right, swipe left, swipe up, swipe down. It's crazy. It's crazy to me that we're in this space. Why is it crazy to me? Because it's like, I think a lot of people need a definition of living, right? Ooh. Like, I know that sounds really crazy and basic, but I think right now.
I'm sorry, Festus. Because y'all don't know Festus like I know Festus, okay? Like when I hear Festus say that, this is what I hear. You don't know how to live.
That is true. That is true. And that's the thing. So this is the thing. How can you, hey, what's going on, Daniel? Daniel's in the house.
Daniel Hill. 3 Musketeers, 1 for all for 1, and 3 for 5.
You stupid, man. What's up, y'all? Y'all good? What's crazy?
Yeah.
Sir.
We're talking about health.
Boy, that's a point right there, especially in our community. Okay.
Go ahead, Festus. You were just talking about living. We don't know how to live.
Yeah, because if you don't have a definition for what living is, you cannot have a definition for health. Or if your definition for living is off, your definition for what's healthy is off. And a lot of people, they don't want to really get down to that level. But I would say in this where we're at, we need to get down to that level on an individual basis. Why? Because that then determines who you associate with, who your tribe is, right? And so the thing is, if you and your tribe have 2 different definitions of living in life, right, and health, you're gonna be way off, right? And so the thing is, when you got to first define living for yourself. This is crazy to me. I know this is kind of off the subject, but I'm very glad I'm married. You know what I'm saying? I'm ecstatic that I'm married. Why? Because you hear about this. He didn't take you on a date and spend $500. And it's like, wait a second. The average income is around 50 to 90, depending, right, on how you're looking at things. And so you're saying, okay, the dude makes maybe $150 a day. If he didn't spend 3 days of his work efforts on you on the first time of meeting you, he has no value. How is that a healthy frame of thought? That cannot be healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing people where it's like, yo, this is my first anniversary. What should I do? Oh, you need to go to Dubai and Hawaii. And it's like, okay, that was honeymoon, but now that's the expectation every year. Well, like this is not a healthy way of looking at money or income, at least in my opinion. For some other people, the way you define life and living, that might be. But it's like, so if living is just one big vacation, right? One big, hey, look, and you're not even enjoying the vacation. You're just taking pictures half the time and taking pictures of the food. I remember there was this one meme or whatever that came out. The chick was taking a picture of the food, and then the dude was like, he put his head. And then he was like, hey,
he's like, I pay for this.
He's like, I pay for this. Take the picture of the person who bought the food. You know what I'm saying? Like, put me on there. You know what I'm saying?
So good.
And it's
God
like,
bless that, man.
And it's like, what are we doing as human beings?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like we've so devalued everything. So how can we have a definition of health without a definition of living? So define what it means. You want to throw that out there real quick? What is living to you?
Oh man. Living to me is moving along, finding a purpose. Man, I feel like everything kind of just goes back to purpose. I'll tell you why. If you know what your purpose is, right? Just hear me out. If you know what your purpose is, this is how it works to me. You know what your purpose is. The 7 tenets of LYS are spiritual, financial, educational, social, cultural, vocational, and health. If I know what my purpose is, I know how to move myself spiritually. If I know what my purpose is, I know how to move myself financially. If I know what my purpose is, I know what education I need to get to fulfill my purpose. If I know what my purpose is, I know what circles I need to be in socially. If I know my purpose, I know the culture I need to involve myself in, or the different cultures I need to involve myself with. I have an understanding of these things. Definitely, if I know what my purpose is, I know what my vocation is. If I know what my purpose is, I know how to approach life from a healthy mindset. Not just health, what you put in your mouth, what I have to read, what I have to watch, what I have to listen to, right? So it's a full gamut of all of those things and how you live within each of those things. That's at least for me, that's what living is.
I couldn't say it any better, and I agree 110%. It's just like you said, it's that purpose, it's that meaning. And to me, it's interesting because I don't know if a lot of people come up with a definition, because life is so broad. Ooh, man, let me tell you, one of the most powerful things I ever heard was a young brother who was teaching his class. He said, everybody needs a life sentence. He said, just like in prison, you get a life sentence. He said, you need to be able to have a sentence that defines your life. I was like, wow, brother is deep. We going deep. Wowzers.
Sum it all up into a sentence. That's powerful.
Powerful.
That's powerful for sure, man. Wow. That's powerful. You know, when I was thinking, as you were talking, I was thinking about this. I was at Trader Joe's today. After church, I went to Trader Joe's. I went and bought some bread and some stuff. And this is how powerful this is. Man, you know what? Guys, these thoughts keep coming in my head, man. I remember the day I was at school and Festus called me and he was like, people don't even know what a miracle is. You remember this conversation we had, Festus?
I don't know.
You said people don't even know what a miracle is.
Well, I
want to tell you the story first.
Yeah, please.
You said people don't even know what miracles are. I remember I was hooping in the gym. He said, I lost both of my parents before I graduated from high school. My sisters were in a whole nother country. I deliver pizzas. I'm hustling, I'm doing this, and I was able to bring my sisters to this country. And they just looking like it's another day. They don't know what a miracle is. You remember that conversation?
I think so.
I was like, dang, that's a miracle. People don't even see it.
In the grand scheme of things, most people just bypass it totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. You were gonna say something. I'm so sorry.
No. Continue. You're on a roll, brother.
I was at Trader Joe's today, and this is how important all these different things work together. I was like, all right, school's about to start. Give my little Kevin Hart. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go here. We're gonna buy healthy stuff. Not eating the bad stuff. Nope. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Yeah, we're gonna do all the stuff. So I bought my little Ezekiel bread. I was like, all right, I got some Ezekiel bread, Ezekiel 9:3. You know, I had a little thing. I was like, get some. I need, do it the whole grain. And this lady just walked by me because I'm one of those. I'm the stand, make a big line, read all the labels. Oh, sprouted grains. Oh, okay, sprouted grains. Oh, hey, this one's got amaranth. All right, you know what I mean? Just reading the whole thing. And this lady walks by me and she's like, "That's a really good bread." And I was like, "Yeah, I used to buy it for my mom. I'm gonna get it for myself now." She's like, "That's good. If you really like that, if you like that, I'm just saying." That Trader Joe's cinnamon raisin bread. And she made this noise. She was like, she said that Trader Joe's cinnamon raisin bread. I was like, as much as I love food, if someone makes a sound like that after telling me something, I picked it up immediately. And I was like, oh, so this is where it's at. She was like, she just kept making faces. Her eyes got really big. She was like, I was like, with some cream cheese? She was like, I mean, for me, everything is a catalyst for butter. Everything is a canoe for butter for me. So with that cinnamon raisin, I put butter on it. I was like, okay, yes, ma'am. I put it in there. But think about how now we connect the health aspect with the social aspect. I'm looking at the healthy bread.
Ooh,
looking at the healthy bread. I could have picked up I love sourdough bread. I could have picked up the sourdough, but I said, I got to get those sprouted grains. Those sprouted grains, dietary fiber is what they talk, all the fiber, whole grains. That's all they talk about. So I said, let me get the Ezekiel bread. I used to buy my mom the Ezekiel bread. If she would have never saw that Ezekiel bread in my hand, she could have just kept walking on. But she saw that Zeke bread and she said, hey, that's that Exodus bread right there. You know what I mean? That's that good bread right there.
That manna.
That's that manna. That's closest thing I've seen to unleavened. All right. You know what I mean? And so then she brought up the cinnamon raisin. Now, granted, it may not be the most healthy, right? Call it what it is, but that's how it starts. If that person obviously knows what they're talking about, and she was older. So guess what that comes with? That comes that comes wisdom. What kind of butter you use? If you've been around this long, you must have been doing something right with the butter. Oh, I use vegan butter. Oh, really? I mean, who knows where this goes, but that's just how it starts. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's, I'm just describing that connection there between the health and social aspects of LYS there, right? The practical application. The reason why I want to also talk about this is we're not just talking about teachers who might be parents who might be teachers, or both. Well, parents are teachers essentially, right? I'm talking about students. I am talking about students because part of the reason why I gave that story about 15 minutes ago about the man who Festus had that meeting with, who was telling him about just the current situation in education. When someone says something like, these districts essentially don't really care about our students. A lot of administrators do not care about students. And this is me getting back on my soapbox, because this is when it gets real. If the administrator, if the person whose sole task is to ensure the safety, health and safety of all of our students really isn't in it like we in it, there's going to be conflict. And we know conflict is inevitable. There is no situation on earth that will not bring conflict. But I don't know, maybe the fact that these children will one day become adults and have a shaping on our world, maybe we should care about them just a little bit more. Maybe the innocence of a child who walks and sees a flower and picks it up, or picks up a stick and can turn that stick into so many different things in their mind. Maybe we should kind of worry or think about that young person and their outcome and how they turn out. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe because we've been doing it since the beginning of time, right? So when I go to school and I see my students coming in, Mr. Shornkey, you want my muffin? Yeah, just put it on top of the cabinet. I look at the muffin. Muffin got like 450 calories.
Damn.
450. Now 450 calories in the morning. And then I look in the ingredients list. And anyone who's watched a YouTube video or a TikTok about those people who are like, these are big no-nos in the grocery store. If there's one thing I know, if it looks like a section of the Bible, if it looks like a huge set, like the ingredients list, got a lot of lines, you got a problem. You got a problem, right? And I look at the back of that blueberry muffin, and I'm like, first of all, so many names. It's small text, but it's that big. So many names I can pronounce, but I can't pronounce like that. Like I gotta like break it down like hooked on phonics style, like read, no, fly, it, nine.
Gotta parse the word.
It looked like 11th grade chemistry. I remember I had to do the tri, penta, all the different, you know what I'm saying, disodium, the triphosphate. Shout out to Miss Santos, she's a great chemistry teacher. I because of her, I got to play football. She let me do tutorials when she was like, no, I'm not doing tutorials for you. Why? I taught what I taught in class. Pay attention. I was like, Miss Santos, please, I still need help. She was like, okay, I'll give you like 2 days a week. I got there early. She taught me what she needed. Man, she's the best. See this power. This man. Teachers are amazing. But either way, that's what my kids are putting, right? I mean, sometimes they'll get like a banana and an orange. That's great. You know, it's great. But sometimes they'll get like these Eggo things or these waffle things, so many things. And I'm just looking at like, what are they putting? So now we're gonna stuff our children with all of this stuff, right? And then we're gonna put them in a classroom and be like, hey, wake up, be alert. These kids are having sugar crashes.
100%.
These kids are having metabolic syndrome. Hey, pick your head up. Their hair spazzing like mumble rappers.
Yep.
Who told the colonists that the British were coming? They can't, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's everything is connected, right? These things, it's like this leads to this, leads to this, leads to this. And it's just like, we don't see these things. And so that's what we're talking about from a health standpoint, right? So let's talk about our stakeholders. I hate to say, let's talk about who we serve. That's what I want to say. Let's talk about who we serve. parents and teachers, right? We have to make sure we're putting in for ourselves for that last part of the triangle, the students. We got to make sure we're putting in good for ourselves, not just what we eat, who we hang around with, what we watch, what we read, what we listen to. We have to make sure that we're putting good in for that last group. Because here's the thing about these kids. Library of Congress or the National Archives, better yet, only God knows how many terabytes of storage they've got, right? Because the National Archives, they record everything. They have like so many different things and they just like pull them in there. That's what kids are. Kids are 85 terabyte, 400 gigabyte RAM recording processors who see and function and just pull in everything. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how they make up their world. That is how they get their general ideas of the world, by what they see. So guess what? If you ain't putting in what you need to put in, if you ain't reading what you need to read, if you ain't listening to what you need to listen to, guess where it goes? Parents and teachers, it goes down to them students. So we have to even work. Yes, I'm sorry. I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but we've got to work that much harder to make sure that we're putting in good for our students. Because if not, if they go outside of where we can control, right? I believe the term is sphere of influence, right? If they go out of the sphere of influence and they let other stimuli affect them, we don't know what they're putting in. We don't know what they're eating. Now I'm not talking about what you put in your mouth. I'm talking about what you're eating from a full standpoint, what you're seeing, what you're smelling, what you're hearing, what you're reading. We don't know what they put. We don't know what let's go even better. We don't know how they live. Thank you, Festus. We don't know how they're living. Go ahead, Festus.
Something that's so ironic to me is now I got kids. I think about cartoons a lot because like I watch the stuff that they watch. I'll be like, all right, that ain't no good. And I think about the cartoons that we watch. And on this topic of health, one cartoon I've been thinking about in particular, and now that they got Hulu's and all this other stuff where they could put something up, I'm waiting for Captain Planet to come back.
Bro.
So this is the thing, right? If you think about it, if you look at, like you said, on a consumption standpoint,
yes, sir.
What are you eating? What are your eyes eating? What are your ears eating? What are your, what's your nose eating, right? What is the consumption of what's being taken in? If you look at what we used to watch when we were younger, there was always elements of education, right? So even Captain Planet, like the whole thing was about saving the planet. Reduce, reuse, recycle. You remember that at the end? They always go that at the end, right? Earth, power, wind, water, heart, right? Now think about that. Think about this. They said earth, power, wind, water, and the last element was heart.
Yeah.
So the fact that passion and purpose and meaning of what is healthy, that's what brought everything together for Captain Planet and the guys, right? And the thing is, nowadays, there's no real frame of reference for what's healthy. You literally just have government dictates about like, yo, if you get this electric car, it's going to be better than, your clunker. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, again, I'm not trying to get political, right? Yeah. But I'm going to get political. Okay, why are we not investing in the young people who have these creative ideas that can help reduce the need to travel, right? You got things like internet now, and you got a lot of these guys who, and don't get me wrong, that means Amazon's doing the traveling. And a lot of times these quote unquote theories about like fixing the earth, they're only just replaced by other things. Like there's a video out there, you go watch the video and they're talking about like, oh, these are the new Ford electric car. And they're like, oh, yeah. And they plug in the electric car, see how the electricity goes. And then one guy says, excuse me, I have a question here. Where does the power from the, electricity come into the car?
From?
And then they were like, from the building. No, not that.
The source.
From the source that puts the power into the building. Oh, the coal plant. And so it's literally, so we're going to burn more coal to put electricity. Like, you see what I'm saying? And so these things are not fully thought out. Why? Because again, it goes back to that point of what's our definition of living. So if you have a different definition of living than I do, like, and this is statistically been proven for hundreds of years. Yeah. If you look at a consumption map, they actually have these. Just Google Earth consumption map. The US uses between 25 to 30% of all the fossil fuels and everything in the world. And we only make up 5% of the world's population. So when you think about that, 5% creates 30% of the pollution, right? You know, and then we go around telling other people, you know, these foreign countries, oh, you need to do better with that pollution. When really the reality is, the reason why those Chinese factories are polluting is so that they can send stuff to us that we then consume. It's just a reality, right?
Yeah.
The reason why those Indonesians are working so hard and the kids in the Congo and in DRC are in the lithium mines digging out the lithium is to put the right.
Yeah.
So the thing is, we have a very backwards way of thinking about these things because we haven't really defined life, right? Or we have a definition that we're forcing onto other people. And so the same way, you know, you got a lot of these administrators. I know Daniel getting ready to hop in. Daniel's getting ready to hop in. You got a lot
double
of
Dutch. Wait.
Yeah, he do. He got a shoulder swag. Show the link. But anyway, you got a lot of these administrators where they are more beholden to the people who are outside of the actual education of the children. I mean, you got the Pearsons and all of these different organizations, the McGraw-Hills, where they're multi-billion-dollar companies, hundreds of million-dollar companies that are being funded, and they're not even doing the actual things that are needed for these kids, right? Some of these kids don't even read these class set of books, and nobody's got a class set of books in 20 years. Yeah. But yet the computer disc costs just as much as the book when we know it doesn't. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like let's really sit down and this is the thing to me, and because I know administrators heard that and they're like, man, they're dragging on us. Well, the thing is, you are the person in power who represents these companies and who are dealing with these kids. And why do I say that? Why do I say that? Because you have a lot of people who are on a local level trying to go into schools and help schools. And they're getting told no because of the $1 billion going to McGraw-Hill or the $100,000 or the $1 million going to McGraw-Hill. So this is just in my simple way of thinking, who would have a much bigger impact on that student's life? The book that's coming from McGraw-Hill that they spent $350 for the book, whatever, $400 for the book, or the person who's able to mentor the kid and say, listen, I grew up on Sack Street with you, and this is what I did in order to go become successful. The person, so you see what I'm saying? So again, we need to take that mentality. And I know I started off talking about cartoons, the Captain Planet and Earth, Fire, Wind, Water, Heart.
It's all connected.
But we need to get that heart, right, back in the education on a local level, right? And our administrators and those who are in power, the superintendents and whatnot, need to start standing up to these companies and saying, look, some of the stuff that you guys are sending me, it's not helping me on a local level. So rather than give you that money, let me go ahead and hire more teachers. Because this is what the guy told me when I spoke with him. He said, if you go and you look at a school district's budget, right, around 50% of the budget is spent on administration. Around 25 to 30% of the budget is spent on the actual teachers. So now you got about 80% left. He said about 3% is used on material and whatnot, and the rest goes to sports and recreational. And I would bet that those numbers are still skewed, because out of that 3%, I can imagine you're probably only getting maybe 0.5% or less that is actually spent on a local level of people who could actually pour into those kids. Yeah. And with that, let me let Daniel chime in, because he was raring to go. I can see him raring.
Come on, Mr. Hill.
Shoot, now Oh shoot, man! I was just over hype, man. What you were saying, everybody got these what they really task. No one has a plan these days. And what you said about even about the saving the planet, right? I saw that video you talking about, man. It's crazy. Like people have plans even with school. Like, oh, what they got tasks with school. They bring in this new material, but have no plan to actually how to use it correctly, and it's just horrible. And we'd be like, okay, like it just like I remember one year they brought in some stuff one time, but no one really knew how to use it, and nobody really showed us how to use it. It was crazy, but what you said about the actual, what was it? It was the EV cars and all that saving the planet, man. I saw that video on not TikTok. What's that? TED Talk? Is that what's called?
Oh, the TED Talk. Yeah, TED Talk. Mm-hmm.
Man, they said that they don't really tell you that EV cars only go 120 miles on a charge when our regular car goes 400 miles in a car. So really, to compare it, you got to multiply it by 3. And then they're not telling you that if we go solar and get these solar places, man, it's actually going to have to clear out 400 to like 1,000 acres and stuff. And it makes you move all the animals to a whole different place. And they also didn't tell you that as well as that's going to happen, that once we finish with these solar panels, we have no way of actually getting rid of them or disposing them. They said they would end up in a third world country causing a chemical problem and stuff. It's like they're not really fixing the problem. And dude said the real fix was whatever that Chernobyl thing that happened at one time.
Nuclear. Nuclear energy.
That's the only way to fix it.
Yeah.
It's like it. And the thing is, what you said is the key thing. They bring in all these tasks, try to do things, but the real fix is actually working with those people who are actually in the neighborhood with them and can talk to them, and people see them coming up. That's the true fix. Having somebody come in who done been raised in a private school their whole life, and they've had like tools and stuff, and they came up with some plan to help poor kids. That's not gonna work, bro. He's never seen it.
I apologize for my eye roll. You reminded me of something. There is a organization that I applied for, and I saw the folks that they let in and where they send them, and I was like, okay, yeah, okay,
and that that's a whole nother thing, because and what do I mean by that is now there's certain programs, and again, I'm not knocking them Quest Bridge or you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna throw the name out there where they think the reverse is the answer, is let me take this kid out the hood and send them to the Ivy League, and then when they come back they're going to be better for the hood. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I think exposure is key.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Exposure is a major key. Yeah. But part of that is also exposing them to the people in their neighborhoods who have done well. Because if you've gone off and you said, wait a second, like for example, I talk to people about Israel and they'd be like, why did you talk about Israel? I'm like, nah, dog, it's something I've seen there about what they did locally that brought solutions. That's why I talk about it so much. It's not so much that, everybody has to be Jewish or anything like that. Yeah. No, it's about people working on a local level to say, hey, look, we got this problem. Let's try to solve this problem together. And then do it on a local level, and then say, well, what are the further applications of this at scale? You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead, Olay.
You know what you reminded me of? When I was working on my parents' house, on their kitchen. There are a lot of things we could have called people to do. Yeah. Right? Other people. But there was no better feeling than me and my brothers, or me and my friends, whoever, studying, learning, and doing it ourselves. There's a certain type of pride, right, that you get from when you say, we did this. We did this. We didn't go out, we didn't look, we used our own resources to fix this issue, to fix this problem. And I think that's what you're trying to say, right?
100%.
Right? Go ahead, sorry.
Well, no, the other part of that is the sustainability aspect.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because since you know what you did, you also know the steps of fixing or repeating the process. Yeah, absolutely. And that's where, again, some of this stuff is just like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? And I get it. The truth of the matter is, a lot of people who benefit from the system don't want the system to change because that's their benefit.
That's how they break their bread. Absolutely. Yeah.
And the thing is, it is facing difficult choices. Go ahead.
That's a beautiful point, but I think we've seen in the last couple of years, we've seen people who have made a substantial amount of money, who we have been given access to a lot of their wealth of knowledge. They have a plethora of knowledge, plethora of resources, and they've given it. And I think, and I pray that one thing that the younger generation realizes, and I think this is a very hard concept for us to eat, is the fact that, ladies and gentlemen, there is enough for everyone to eat.
Yeah.
There is enough for everyone to eat.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest things I hope people take from the advent of COVID and even before that is, you could have the billion, you can have everything. It's great. But it's almost like a Nigerian. You want to spend it all for yourself.
Yeah.
You want to buy all the candy. Your teeth can only take so much sugar before you start to do something.
Beggity.
Or you have to start drinking that stuff, that stuff they make you drink when you eat too much, it cleans the stomach out. But there is enough for everyone to eat. There's enough for everyone to eat. And I think that's a really important thing for us to realize there. Let's go over a couple more sides because we're running low on time. This is not a key principle, but this is actually something that Festus kind of talked about that in the book that his mom used to tell him, which is so true. And my mom, she uses this as a crutch for me to buy her expensive groceries. So good on you, Mom. Respect. Way to use the game. Prevention is better than cure. It's always better to spend a little bit more now, right? To get something of a little bit better quality, to get something that's going to help you a little bit more than to potentially take something that's going to make things a little bit worse for you later on down the road. Two more slides here. Why do I have this number here? 744,600. Why? Did you know that our brains are estimated to be working 744,600 hours non-stop if we were to live until we were 85 years old? 744,600 hours if you were to live to 85 years old. That is amazing. So yes, you got to put good in all the way. I don't know about you. I don't want to be 85 and I tell someone I'm going to use the restroom and they find me down on the highway walking somewhere. How'd you get here, Grandpa? Oh, so I was going to the restroom. I didn't know where I was going. We're going to have to put this man outside. He's going to have to go sit somewhere. He needs somebody to sit with him. You know what I mean? So, but that's what we're talking about here, right? The importance of it goes so far. It goes so far. When it's a big thing, and I think the culture that we are raised, respect for our elders. Respect for our elders. I'm not gonna lie. I respect totally assisted living. I understand you have some cases where you need round the clock care, or you need someone to come and care for you. But I want my parents to stay with me when I have kids, so they can be there to guide them and show them the things. And even for me as a parent, when I do things that maybe I shouldn't be doing, they can kind of call me out on it, and that's when you have the perpetual, man, when I was a kid, you used to drop kick me like Bruce Lee. Who was that Street Fighter character? E Honda. Remember how E Honda used to just take his hand and go like spinning, turn, kick, all of that. And you tell I can't do it now?
Oh, that was Chung Lee with the kick.
Chung Lee, yeah, Chung Lee. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. My mom, this is so bad. If I had to compare my mom to a Street Fighter, she's Sagat. I don't know if it's Sagat or Sagat. Boy, my mom was tiger uppercut all day. No, I'm just kidding. She wasn't tiger. But yeah, you have to be able to be able to put good in, to be able to get the most out of what we have, right? To be able to, and it all goes back to fulfilling that purpose that we talked about, right? Are you living? Last thing here, we have a definition here. And I went and looked on the APA, the definition changed from the definition that was in Laddering Your Success. But the definition we have here is the pattern of specific and non-specific responses an organism makes to stimulus events that disturb its equilibrium and tax or exceed its ability to cope. Seems like a lot, but that's a really long-worded way to say stress. When you see that actual definition, I'm gonna put it back up there. When you see that actual definition, it looks a little different, don't it? Oh, I'm stressed. I'm going through this. I'm stressed out, man. I'm stressed out. And this is one thing I found out in therapy. We don't realize it's like a cup with water or a balloon or something like that, right? Little events, microaggressions, little things that pile up, right? Until there's no other place for it to go. And then there's a reaction, right? Stress. This may sound crazy. Actually, it's not going to sound crazy. It's the truth. What you put in affects that so much. What you put in affects that so much, right? And so that's the importance of health and how it relates to so many different aspects of our life, of purpose, of living, all of those different things. It's 3:00. I don't want to keep going any longer than we have to. Festus, Daniel, you guys got anything else to say before we go? I know I kind of dropped those last 2 slides in there.
I'll go. Yeah, I think just on point, man. This topic of health, and especially going back into the year, we need to really look at ourselves and what does health mean, and it's because again, I mean, we just had a really hard semester or year rather, and then it seems like that whole year, the summer just poof went up and spoke. Where'd the summer go? Yeah, and we're back at it. So yeah, well, I'm hoping a healthy year for all the educators out there, and students, and parents.
Absolutely.
And administrators. It's not like I don't like y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, we love the administrators, and we love the administrators. D Hill, you got anything?
Nah, man. No, man. I'm actually good, man. Great topic today, guys.
Awesome. Oh man, D Hill ain't got nothing to say. We done left D Hill speechless.
Hold on, wait for it. Shut up.
Okay, there it is. Oh man, I love it. Here we go real quick. Am I sharing? All right, good. Folks, as always, if you want to get in contact with us, LYS students, _LYS, _LYS if you like to read the K. Just kidding. On Facebook, Laddering Your Success. Make sure you type that in the search bar. You get access to our mentor sessions, any type of information, resources, tools, anything like that we post. On YouTube, Laddering Your Success. Keep an eye out for a lot of the stuff that we're going to put out there. We did some events with NAMC. We did a workshop with DIC at Dominion International Church. Keep your eye out on that. TikTok, LYS Do. We ain't forgot. TikTok, we coming for you. Got my eye on you, TikTok. If you want to send us an email, if you have any potential, if you need us for a workshop, if you need us for a meeting, one-on-one personal consultation, info@ladderingyoursuccess.com. Discord coming soon. Don't forget about it. Festus, hit him with that Cash App one more time.
It's just Laddering Your Success. Just Laddering Your Success.
Laddering Your Success. Mm-hmm. That's 2 D's in laddering, folks. 2 D's in laddering. Folks, for Daniel Hill, Festus and Olay, I am Olay Shorunke. Remember, there are legitimate reasons to not going to college, but there are no legitimate reasons to not getting an education. Thank God. Who would have thought in February I couldn't do this? Now look at me, folks. It's practice. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. All right. I'm going to do it again. The legitimate, you see, I should have just kept it. There are legitimate reasons to not going to college. There are no legitimate reasons to not getting an education. Be a lifelong learner. All right. Folks, I hope you have a great week. If we don't see you when the school year starts, hope you have a wonderful school year. Make sure you take care of yourself. All right. Make sure, remember, we talked about that cup. You feel that cup getting filled with water. You feel that rubber getting too tight, getting pulled too tight before it snaps. Take a break. Take a day. Take an hour. Take whatever you need. Take care of yourself. Why? You need to have your health on check to fulfill your purpose. All right. Don't forget it. We'll see you next week. Oh, you're still there? Well, thank you so much for listening to the LYS podcast.